This is Let's Talk Business with your hosts, Marc Ebinger and Howie Nestel. Now, here's Marc.
Welcome to Let's Talk Business, a show that talks entrepreneurship with some of the best businesses in the San Antonio area. Coming up on the show today, we're going to focus quite a bit on the importance of businesses giving a great customer service experience. I want to welcome Marcello Diaz, the Director of Business Development at Prestige ER. Marcello, welcome to the show.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
First-time guest, and you did dress well for the show, so thank you for dressing up. Ram, I'm just saying we can take some notes. I mean,
yeah, man, I really need help here. Yeah, I got to take some notes from you. You know, it's definitely there. Yeah.
Also joining us today is Ram Pena, an expert martial artist and the owner of Studio Martial Arts here in San Antonio, and I consider you a friend as well. You lighten up a room whenever you're here. So, Ram, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be back, and it's good to be here with Howie.
Awesome.
I've known this guy for a long time. Yeah.
It's good to be here with Howie. Did he leave me out on that?
He left you.
Oh, yeah.
He did, right?
Well, I didn't bring Howie in,
wait.
so.
What was your name again? I'm sorry.
Mark, that's what happens when you don't make fun of somebody's dress. He's a sharp
I like the way he's dressed. I think it's sharp.
He roasted him out of the box.
No, yeah, but you fill that shirt
Is
out
that what
better
the
than I
cinch
would.
on my shoulder is? I'm sorry. That was that. No,
Great logo, too, Ram.
Oh,
Like
thanks.
the logo.
Yeah, it's. I think I told the story last time, but I was super excited about it, and then I told it to one of my best friends, and he told me that it looks like a floppy-eared bunny. And so ever since then, I see it as a floppy-eared bunny, but I still think it looks cool.
Yeah, you don't want to put that visualization in their head.
Oh,
right?
no, but it's a bunny who can kick some butt. So there you go.
It's a top-down view, right?
What's that movie, Monty Python? There you go.
Yeah,
The Killer Rabbit.
right.
There you go.
I've never seen that.
You've never seen Monty Python, The Holy Grail? Oh my God, we could talk forever. I'll stop.
The Knights That Say Neats.
There you go. I'm buying you this movie so you can watch it.
Rent it on Amazon. All right. Also in studio with us today is Howie Nestel, the owner of Matic Advertising, where he and his team have helped over 1,500 clients grow their marketing influence. Howie, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Mark. I feel like I've already been here for 3 episodes.
Yeah, I
today.
feel like you have too. I don't know. And changed your shirt 3 times. I don't know what's going on. And I'm your host, Marc Ebinger, the owner of Crükus Marketing Agency, a company that specializes in hiring virtual executive assistants from outside the United States. Quick reminder for our listeners, you can catch video and podcast versions of the show anytime by visiting our website at satalkradio.com. If you are a business owner in the San Antonio area and would like to have your company featured on the show, visit our website at satalkradio.com or call our office at 210-879-8804. That's 210-879-8804, and we can get you hooked up. All right, but before we get into it, so what is the logo? What is it? A top-down view, right?
It's a top-down view of the original guard of my first martial arts style. And so it's the head and the hands. So if you look at it from right here, this is the front if somebody's pointing at you. Mm-hmm. This is how if you're looking from above. It was designed by my old website designer. He was like, oh, let's look at this. And it was simple and it was clean. And so I was like, no, that looks real good. And it meant something for my martial art. Yeah, so that's what it is.
You've got the logo up on your wall. I know you guys do a lot of videos and stuff like that for what's going on in your studio. Mm-hmm. Very active on social media. So it's good that logo branding is pretty consistent there.
Yeah. So we want it to be in people's heads big time.
So customer service, kind of a big deal. It seems like we went through this whole pandemic thing and really shook people. We got tired of poor customer service very, very quickly. I think I got burnt out on a poor customer service experience. Mm-hmm. So paying attention to these kind of things, I think, is back in style. What do you guys think, Ram?
Oh, yeah, big time. I'm surprised it went out of style, but what happens with people is we get stuck in a rhythm. We get stuck in the everyday, and so we don't think about the big picture, and we just go through the motions. And I think a lot of businesses, that was happening because we were going through a pretty big time of prosperity for a good while since the recovery, right? From 2008, the recession and the recovery after that, everybody kind of gets stable, and then the COVID happened, and it was like a wake-up call. You
are right on, and most people don't. Most entrepreneurs don't know this. When business is good, I've been in business for 3.5 decades. I've been a partner in 25 businesses. When things are good is when you should be doing good customer service. Because you know what happens after things are good? Things go bad. It shouldn't be that that's the trigger. Now that business is bad, oh, what are we going to do? We should focus on the customer. Should always be focused on the customer when things are good. But we get spoiled. We rest on our laurels. Things are good. People are calling us day and night. all you have to do is open your doors and hang a sign, and you have more business than you know what to do with. And then people get lazy. They start providing bad customer service. And you know what? There's plenty of customers around there, so it doesn't matter. It only matters when things turn south. 2008, recession, pandemic, right? 2020. Well, the businesses that focus on the customer not only can survive economic downturns, but they can thrive through them because that's how you build customer loyalty. That's how you build top-of-mind awareness. Partially, it's by having a good logo and putting it on a bunch of places. But that in and of itself is not going to convert. Sure. What's going to convert is people that get to know you, like you, trust you, know that you were with them through tough times, and then they want to stick with you.
Well, and it's not something that you can snap your fingers, right, and go from a culture of bad customer service to a culture of good customer service, right? To Howie's point, talking about the business that he had purchased before, there's a culture already, and sometimes you can't fix that culture. Sometimes it's just going to burn itself out. So, Marcello, with respect to customer service and paying attention to those kinds of things, what are your thoughts on the value of customer service?
So, it's incredibly important. So, every Google review, every person that walks in your doors, what they say has a lasting impact. It's the domino effect. I've always been told, you piss off one person, 5 follow. That's just how it is. It's continuance. During COVID specifically, we have ups and we have downs. For the healthcare industry, it wasn't necessarily a down, although socially it is a downside to everything, right? But I always think of it like this. It's like a heart rate monitor, right? You have ups and downs, troughs, valleys. If that thing flatlines, you're dead, right? So you need the ups, you need the downs, you need these training kind of and learning experiences like COVID to teach you how to better service your customer, your clients, your patients, because they did lack empathy themselves. A lot of patients did.
In the health industry, if you have choice, if you truly have choice, I think a lot of times we don't understand that we have a choice. Before I started to get to know you a little bit about what your business does, I didn't really understand that there could be other emergency rooms that I could go to. My wife had to take a trip to an emergency room, right? And the experience was okay, right? But I would imagine where there's true competition, there's better customer service, right? I didn't know that. So, but where we do have a choice and we understand that, we're going to choose the better customer service option. Well, money's always a factor, right? But I mean, we're going to choose that. So that's good to know.
Well, yeah, when there's a monopoly, usually you have bad customer service. I don't want to, I know we have a culture on this show of bad-mouthing different industries, military, etc. But if anybody has called saws lately, if you have a water leak.
My wife almost got arrested for saws, so it's a big deal.
You don't have to go that far to see sometimes a lack of empathy, a lack of customer service, a lack of, personnel to answer the phone because they don't need to. You want water, you're going to wait. You see what I'm saying? So, look, there's nothing wrong with competition. By the way, I love competition because it keeps me sharp and keeps me on my game. Right. I mean, I've been studying martial arts with Sifu Ram here for 5 years. And if I didn't get a chance to go in and compete, I would just learn a bunch of things that I don't know how to gauge whether or not I really know them, whether or not they're effective, et cetera. It's not until I get a chance to compete that I get to see like, ooh, man, I really got to sharpen my game a little bit.
Yeah, so what's the goal? Is the goal to get better?
The goal is to get better. And that's what competition does. And that's why it's important to have competition. You should welcome it.
And if I may add, also to love the process. Yeah, that's where I think a lot of people fail is they love the end so much, but that comes when it comes. You got to love the process.
Well, love the process, and that's very stoic of you because, the obstacle is the way.
100%.
And people, it's a nice T-shirt and a nice slogan, but go try to live that.
Yeah, it's hard.
Very difficult.
Yeah, that's something Jocko would say, right?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, but you know what?
And get some.
It's difficult, but it's worth it. And I love your analogy about not flatlining, right? The ups and downs. I've always thought about it as climbing a mountain. When you're at base camp and you look up, looks pretty direct, man. Should take me a couple of hours to get up there. And it's not until you start climbing that you realize you hit these small peaks, but then there's these little valleys and then these peaks. It's never a direct route. Sometimes you have to go around.
Yeah.
But you know what? The idea is that small improvements over large periods of time produce dramatic results. So over time, climbing each of these little peaks will eventually get you to the top.
You know?
A little Howieism there. Yeah, add another one to the library. I love it. All right, let's get into it. So first up on the show is Marcello Diaz, the Director of Business Development at the Prestige ER. Marcello, welcome to the show. Good to have you here.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, no, I'm excited to be here. A bunch of enthusiastic individuals here.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly.
Hard chargers here, all of us. Well, yeah, some of us are in better shape than others. But anyway, I'm having my Dr. Pepper here. Don't tell my wife.
Yeah.
So, all right. So Prestige ER. So what is it? It's like, you know, the concept, the business, because there's so much here I love about this business. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's kind of a lot to explain, but Prestige ER is a freestanding emergency room. So it's not an urgent care, nor is it a hospital. It's kind of in the middle, in between, right? So it's a freestanding ER. We can handle any kind of real medical emergencies. So whether it's chest pains, stomach pains, let's say your appendix is going out or something. COVID, we did tons of COVID testing. Not that we really wanted to, but we had to. We had to be there for the customer service, right? Because we had to be there for the community as well. But yeah, so it is a freestanding emergency room, full on, full service, x-rays, CTs, ultrasounds if needed as well.
All right, cool. What about gunshots?
Yeah, absolutely. We were actually on the news not too terribly long ago about this car meet that happened on the west side. I don't know if you heard about that.
No.
But yeah, we had somebody.
Okay,
came
so
in for that.
urgent care and emergency care. Is that what you did you bifurcate those? Okay, so what is urgent care that maybe you guys don't do?
So urgent care is very low acuity, right? So it's colds, sniffles.
Oh, that's urgent care?
little
You
bit
got to
of
be kidding
flu.
me.
Well, it's not
No,
that the
urgent care
patient
is
they just need to go somewhere and they need to go there right now because they don't know what it is.
Okay.
Well, okay. Urgent care is definitely very low acuity, meaning it's the everyday average things that you get. Your kid's a little sick, has a little cough, you can go to urgent care. You know, say they break their arm, you can still go to urgent care. They have those capabilities. You need testing for flu or COVID, they still do that as well. You know, but the emergency room, we take it a step higher. So this is the place where you can come get seen while you're having a heart attack. And if something happens, we can actually bring you back to life, more than likely, right? That we can do that. In urgent care, you're not going to have physicians on staff that are able to do that kind of thing. So at the ER, not only can we see a higher level of acuity, but we can also get to you to the hospital pretty effectively or efficiently at that, honestly.
Right, because you guys do transport as well, right?
Yeah, that's another thing that people don't understand about most of these freestanding emergency rooms. I really don't care, you know, and I'll preface this by saying your choice is valid wherever you want to go, wherever you want to be seen. But when you come to a freestanding ER, you get checked in really fast, right? We're there for emergencies, so we get you into a room pretty quickly. And when you get into the room, say something drastic is happening and you need emergency surgery or something. We actually partner with hospitalist groups such as like IPHA, where they'll actually find a room at a hospital and book that room, sort of, right? Sort of. It kind of works in that way. When you go to a hospital, you wait 4, 5, 6 hours, you go to the ER, and they move you up, right? In this case, you're already at an ER. We've already assessed the situation in 1/10 of the time. And
yeah, God, that's crazy. I didn't even know that that was a thing because I took my dad to the ER. I won't say which one because now I'm going to I'm shying away from saying names. But it was a big hospital in a medical center.
Located in this area of the city.
And it was a place where they don't take all the insurances, but for a man who was 88 years old that might have some government subsidized medical coverage, we had to go to this specific hospital. So we got there at 2:00 in the morning. And it was something that was, I would say fairly serious. I'm not a doctor. I don't even play one on TV, but it was pretty serious. Well, we got there at 2:00 in the morning. Guess at what time they actually saw him?
Oh, no.
Closer to 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yep. Every time.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize. Then I started noticing there are billboards that say what your wait time is at specific hospitals. So that tells me that there's a waiting time. And so, I'm like, hey, so what if somebody was dying? They're like, well, we don't, it depends on the situation, all that. Well, this is pretty serious, but I don't think he's dying, but we'll get to you in just a minute.
Yes.
I go, okay, well, let me go find a place to park the car so I don't have to spend a bunch of money. I left it right in front. They're all Beretta style with the door open, jumped out. Anyway, so I didn't know. So tell me, where's Prestige ER? Do you sign up ahead of time and get your insurance all in place just in case something happens? What kind of systems do you guys have in place, or do you just show up? And
He's
then
as
you build
excited as I am about it.
Yeah.
Because we don't know, right?
Yeah.
We don't
It's
know.
great information.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand it at all. That's one thing that I've noticed is education within the healthcare space is very limited because either somebody doesn't want you to know, or somebody's fighting against you knowing. And I have to say, hospitals have their place. They really do. They do a lot of great things for our communities, and they uphold a lot of what our infrastructure is in the healthcare space. But Prestige ER is located across all across 1604, so we have a few locations. We see mostly walk-ins, so when it's an emergency, you're walking in.
Okay.
But we do have those places, say on our website, where you can fill out some of your paperwork and kind of.
We call?
You can call, absolutely. We're open 24/7, 365 days a year. So
Can
all
you
day, all
pre-book?
night,
Can
every
we
day.
say, hey, can I get on the waiting list now? Like great clips we can check in online. I don't know.
So
I'm on my way with a heart attack.
Yeah,
So
right.
technically, you could say yes, but also you have to understand that somebody may come in having a heart attack, and they're going to be seen before you. We had a lot of those issues during COVID, where people would make appointments, sort of, right, and they'd be a little upset when somebody went in before them, especially if they were waiting. If we were seeing 150 people a day for COVID testing, and somebody came in with chest pains, we have to see him.
Sure.
That's a life-threatening, symptom right there. You never know what's happening.
Yeah.
So,
So like here, go
yes
to
and no.
CVS. tell the person with the test. You want go to CVS.
Yeah. I mean,
That's why you
yes
said
and no.
earlier we kind of didn't really want to do it, but we had to because it was good customer service. But I get it.
Yes.
I mean, you're providing this world-class healthcare experience
100%.
for serious things. And then you have people that like, I have sniffles. I'm not really sure. And how come I can't be seen right away? And why can't I get my result?
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to dealing with human beings.
And it's funny that you say that, because even if, let's just say it's an emergency room, a hospital, so you wouldn't go into a hospital if you were sneezing a little bit, right?
Right.
People come into our facilities with
No, you
some
go into a
sniffles and
hospital
coughs.
and then you come out sneezing.
This is probably true. But if you didn't know this, regardless of what your situation, if it's an emergency to you, it's an emergency to us. So EMTALA says we cannot turn you away. So whenever it comes to, we can't turn away any patients. So when you walk in our doors, you're going to be seen.
Yeah.
Whether that's giving you an examination saying, okay, maybe if you don't have insurance, we can help you out and throw you a bone, do what we can. Or you can go to one of our urgent cares, kind of up to you, right? But if it's life-threatening, we're going to see you, treat you, and make sure you have the best service.
Got it. Yeah, an important category, right? And one is options, but two is if a need in the marketplace isn't being met, that's where there's an opportunity
Bingo.
to create a business.
Bingo. Yep.
So when it comes to, and you corrected me on this, but I just want to get it out there for the audiences. When it comes to in-network and out-of-network, give me a quick definition of how you guys deal with that.
Yeah, so technically, this is another one of those education moments. There is no such thing as an ER, not from my understanding. There's no such thing as an ER that's in-network. So when you call your insurance and you're like, I need an ER near me that's in-network, it doesn't exist. It's not going to happen. They're going to direct you towards either a hospital or an urgent care or to go see your primary care physician. So technically no ERs in-network. We bill out-of-network rates to insurance companies, but does that affect your cost? Not exactly. That's something that we kind of deal with on a patient-to-patient basis. And I can tell you that there was data that was brought out by, I think it was the Journal of Emergency Medicine, that freestanding emergency rooms were coming in at about a third of the cost of a hospital visit. So that's on average. So it could be lower in a lot of cases. And I don't see them ever being higher.
Just to clarify, you're saying a freestanding emergency. You've used that term quite a bit. So what does that mean, and how is it different from maybe a traditional ER?
So freestanding emergency room just basically says we don't have specialists on deck. So if you need eye surgery right then and there, we don't have a person in-house that's going to do that, right? You have to be seen at a hospital to get that treatment. So we don't do surgeries and things like that. Minor surgical things, sure, but not full-on surgeries or anything.
All right, and you guys will see like spinal cord injuries, traumatic brain injuries,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Severe burns as well.
Yes, we have all the resources to be able to assess, treat. and kind of get you going and then refer you out, whether that's by making an appointment for you through a specialist that we recommend or asking you, hey, there's 10 options, pick. We'll call them, make sure you have an appointment set up.
All right, cool. All right, we covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
Marcello, if folks want to get in touch with you guys, how do they do that?
You can go to our website at prestigeer.com. You can call our number, of course. It's all listed on the website as well. But if you ever need anything, you can absolutely walk in. We're always open for you.
So you said along 1604. So give me the main points there.
So 1604 in Bitters. We have one off 1604 in Petrenko, and then one in Helotes off Shanefield and Gall.
Okay, so northwest, like northwest.
northwest.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Well, how come not on northeast, man? What's up with that?
Follow the money, Mark. Follow the money.
But there's plenty of money on the north.
No, man.
There's more on the northwest, right? As they say.
Well,
Thanks,
no, I
Marcel.
mean, think about it. Like at one time, Bandera in 1604, which is near Helotes, was the fastest growing intersection in the state of Texas. Right there where HEB built that gigantic store.
The big one, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
They're not
Thanks,
building
Mark.
it in Windcrest, sir.
Windcrest used to be
Wow,
It used to be.
really
that
nice
just
spot.
happened.
Yeah.
You just said that. Not
But they
building
do
it.
have great
Wow.
Christmas lights at Windcrest.
Yeah,
That's
they
where we
do.
go every year to see the Christmas.
I don't know if that's a thing anymore, though, to be honest. It was back in the 90s when we first got here. Driving through Windcrest was a thing.
We still do it. I take the kids over there.
Do you
It's still,
really?
yeah, it's still a thing. Yeah, and I know I'm Jewish, but I still like Christmas music. And you tune into certain radio stations, and you can listen to the Christmas music on the radio that is synced with some of the lights in the neighborhood.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
It's always fun.
Wow. Yeah.
All right, next up on the show is Ram de Pena, an expert martial artist and the owner of Studio Martial Arts here in San Antonio. So, Ram, welcome back to the show. Good to have you.
Thanks. Yeah, good to be back. And that was really cool, Marcello. Yeah, I mean, you had me really like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Wow.
A lot of
And-
wows.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. Well,
And you're bright, and you still didn't know.
no,
So
I don't know how bright, man. Maybe 2 volts, maybe. I don't know. But
It's LED kind of bright.
yeah, all right. Yeah, the not so great, you know. But it resonated with me because my son was put in a NICU in Boston, and the insurance didn't cover the flight back.
Wow.
It was a real hard time for us. So I'm just like, oh my God, like this is good, you know. So thank you very much for that.
There's a lot of information out there, and a lot of stuff you're not going to find too.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to me that you can have all that going on and we don't know about it here in the city.
Right.
It's kind of crazy.
Education, it's very limited. So
Yeah.
that's what I plan to do. Is just bring that education.
There you go. But thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
So Ram de Pena, tell us what Sifu Ram is all about.
Well, when it comes down to the customer service aspect of this, my favorite book is a book called Knock Your Socks Off Service. I don't know if you read that one. Have you
I
read
have
that one?
not read that
It's
one.
actually
I'll
really
write it down.
good. Yeah. And so the idea is that no matter what, you have to have constant communication and constant connection with your customers. And you got to be trying to find new ways to do that all the time. So there's a good book also. I believe it's Outliers or it's Blink. I think it's Outliers, where they talk about the #1 car salesman in the United States at the time and how basically what he did was collect information from his customers and hit all the specialties or the unexpected things as much as possible. And his whole base grew where he was constantly selling cars to them, their friends, their family, because they were always talking about him. So he would send them roses on like a Mother's Day, or send them roses if somebody was sick. He would send them cards on their birthdays, different things like that, right?
Now, you haven't sent me roses, but you do send my kids and I a birthday wish on video.
Well, you know, I tried to. Who are you again? I'm sorry. No worries. No. But no, in all seriousness, yeah, absolutely. The video messages is what we've been doing a lot. And I mean, I really did love your kids and love having you guys in, and you want to keep those relationships. So every time it's Nikki's birthday or Max's birthday or Jacob's birthday, send them a message, send you a message. I don't think I have Nora's birthday. That's the only one I'm missing. So like,
I'll
if you
sell
got
it to
that,
you.
yeah, there you go.
12/29. I won't tell you the year she was born.
Perfect. I think that's actually the best thing to do. Very good. But anyway, so I would do those messages every day, and I thought to myself, well, nobody's wishing any, like they send you a Facebook post, and that becomes impersonal because everybody does that, right? So you want to stand out. And the first thing you got to get over is standing out. Some people don't like standing out from the crowd, or they look weird, or they look like they're up to something. It's like, no, just wish them a genuine happy birthday. So that's how I started. And during the course of classes, one person's on the mat teaching, the other person's walking around, talking to everybody, seeing what's going on. And as of right now, we're working on upping it to make sure we're doing those things that I read about in Outliers and Knock Your Socks Off service. So it's been very helpful because we're able to charge a good premium for our product, but people stay because of the connection. They know that we're giving them the results. But there's more than just results. I mean, we're all people, right? Everybody wants to feel like they matter. So your best thing is to find out about the people that are coming through your door, find out how to make them matter in the short amount of time that you know them. And if you know them for long periods of time, make sure you continually always try to find something to make them feel special.
Can I tell you something that even further distinguishes you from other people that do those tricks and tactics?
Yeah, sure, go for it. Yeah.
Sincerity.
Oh, yeah.
Because you actually do care. You even said it, you know. I love your kids when they were coming in. You're genuinely concerned about their grades.
You knew their names?
Yeah, 100%.
But that you can't buy sincerity. You can't even fake it. And Mother Nature, God, and karma knows whether you're sincere or not. You could read a book and do all those tactics. People are going to see right through it. Maybe not initially, but they're going to realize, you know what? Mark doesn't really care about me.
Right.
He just has these notes. His administrative assistant is sending me a video. Mark would like to wish you a happy birthday on your video. I know you guys don't do that, but you know what I mean.
I should do that. I don't know.
You should do that. Yeah, you already wrote it down. No, but you're sincere. You care. You actually care. And that is a differentiator that is even more different than just learning those tricks and tricks. And so have you always been a caring, compassionate, sincere person, or is that something you developed when you became an entrepreneur? Tell me a little bit about that.
It was weird. When I was a kid, I was the I don't care about anything kind of kid. It was kind of weird. And I went through ebbs and flows, and I got in trouble a lot. And so I decided to tone that back. But I always had a very caring heart around like other people who were being mistreated or things like that. And as I got older, I was genuinely curious about another person's experience. Like, okay, they're going through this in their life, and I don't want them to be in any kind of pain. You know, what can I do to help, or can I talk to them, or things like that. And so I always really was very empathetic in that way. But I was also very shy too. And so you have to get past, that's why I was saying at the beginning, you got to get past the shyness, because that is, you have a purpose for it, right? It's a reasonable feeling. You know, we're all cavemen at heart, right? We haven't evolved very far from that. So we're trying to survive every single day. And so that shyness is, oh, I don't want to step out of my comfort zone, right? You got to get over that, and then you got to pursue it as best as you can. And over the years, I became more of an extrovert because of it. Yeah. And so without that.
Well, you said extrovert, so I have a question now.
Yeah.
How do you recover?
Oh, gosh.
By yourself
yes.
or in public?
100% by myself.
So
100%.
Howie, I didn't get clarity on this
I'm the
last
outlier.
time. So you actually get energy from being in front of people.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I go nuts if I'm by myself. I learned how to meditate about 4 or 5 years ago, and I love it. But man, the minute I open my eyes, I'm like ready to hang out with somebody. And my wife, my kids, my other family members have identified that about me. They're like, dude, you cannot be alone. If I'm alone, I'm on the phone. I'm calling somebody. You know, it's much harder to be alone with yourself and your own thoughts than it is to be with others.
For you.
Yeah.
Because not for me, and probably not for Ram.
Nope.
What about you, Marcello?
I'm probably the exact same as this guy over
Really?
Oh, wow.
Cheers,
Look
man.
at that.
Let's get each other on rapid
That's
call,
right.
man.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
hey, man,
right.
what are you doing?
Environments.
I'm feeling
charge
lonely,
me up.
Marcello.
Yeah.
Come out.
Marcello, save me.
I'm also always on the phone. Like, say if I'm driving or something, and I'm just like kind of bored and tired of listening to my songs or something, I'll call someone. Just catch up.
Well, listen to the show. Listen to Let's Talk
Well, that
Business.
too.
It's a great way to kind of.
a great way to do it. Gosh.
No, that's good because I don't know how common, like in society, whether a majority of people are going to be, you know, more the introverted recovery type versus the extroverted.
I hear a lot from a lot of people that say, hey, man, once I'm home, like I call, they don't answer. They don't like, I'll call. No, they're like, dude, I can't, I'm just recovering, man. I just need
tell me again.
That's how most normal people are.
Right.
Then there's the weirdos. Like Marcello and I, they're like, get energy from others and connect and all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, man, but I always feel like I have to be on for some reason. And it's not because of just an energy thing, but I have this weird feeling that I'm running out of time.
Oh, well, you are. You're getting old.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We're all getting older, right?
I think Buddha.
Except you.
My favorite quote from Buddha was somebody asked him, "What's the biggest mistake people make?" And he said that they think that they have more time than they really do.
Yeah.
So I don't take that as only literally in terms of life and death. I also look at it that on a daily basis, we think we have more time than we really do. And as an entrepreneur, that we have enough time to get through all the things on our checklist. And that's a mistake that we think we do, and then we actually don't. And then we find ourselves behind, running behind, and like, oh, now you're playing catch up. Now you're stressed, and stress is a silent killer. Then you end up at Prestige ER, and my chest, and they're like, it's just stress. Relax.
Oh yeah.
So, Ram, I want to get back to like customer service and what you guys got going on over at your shop there. So, individualized, experiences, coaching. So, what kind of things are you guys doing at your studio there to really kind of hone in on? I know you do leadership stuff too, which I think is fantastic, because if we can teach kids about leadership young, it instills a really good set of values, and we have an outlet for them to actually practice it, not only physically, but also in a group environment, which I think is fantastic what you guys are doing over there.
Yeah.
But so what else are you guys doing in your studio?
Well, we make sure we do frequent progress checks. That's a big thing, because what happens is there's a couple of things. First of all, it is very easy to get caught in a conversation that is, getting to know somebody, and that's fantastic. But sometimes somebody's got an issue and they don't want to tell you. And so you've got to create the accessibility, and you got to create a time where you're going over what if something's up or if they need anything. And the way that we do that, or that we're going to start to do it, is we're going to label each student as an A student, a B student, a C student, based on their attendance, their attitude, their focus, our relationship. If we're seeing anybody that's falling beneath a certain baseline, then we're going to spend more time with those people, because you're always going to have the 25% that love you. But the 75% are the ones that are the average goers, or the ones that are not as talented. And those people need your most time. And of course, you're going to keep in touch with the A students, but those are the ones that really love you. So that's where a lot less is going to need to be had. So we try to keep track of them that way. And also, we really try to make sure that when they come in, they feel special when they come in. We greet everybody at the door. We're implementing a 3-foot rule. If you're 3 feet inside from the door, you're greeted. We're teaching our leaders how to do that, the ones that are actually come and teach classes. I say white belt on the floor, and everybody, if they've already met the white belt, they come up and say, hey, it's good to see you. If you need anything, let me know. Right. And that opens it so that they can talk to them. Or if they haven't introduced themselves, they go up and they get the chance to introduce themselves. Now they know that white belt's name. They've talked to the white belt's parents. And how does everybody feel when that happens?
Great. They feel awesome.
Great. Completely. Right. So, and these are the newbies. And so you got to get them when they're brand new, and you got to constantly be giving them that reinforcement that, no, we really do care about you. And so we're
great
doing
culture.
That. Yeah.
Great culture, really. And I've been there and I've experienced it. You already have that. Right. Even though you didn't categorize them as A, B, and C's before,
right.
You've always had that culture
of,
welcoming in the newbies, making sure that they're comfortable, greeting the parents. I thought that is brilliant. And we did it. Even the adult students, we would go and greet the parents. And that's how I got to be friends with Mitchell's dad.
That's right.
And that's why he called me the other day, and he was like, oh, I don't know if you remember me, but this is Dennis. I'm Mitchell's dad. I'm like, of course, Dennis, I remember you. It was because I greeted the parent, you know?
Always. And we want to encourage that, because then that kind of goes into the third place principle. Like, you always want your third place. You want to be that person's third place. I think that's what it is, right? The Starbucks one. Do you all remember that?
Nope.
So the idea is that Starbucks at the time wanted to be the other person's third place.
Right.
Usually
so it's homework,
and then the
third
Starbucks,
place. Yeah.
Right?
Got
You
it.
see what
Cheers.
I mean? Yes, exactly.
I think Starbucks stole it from Cheers.
I love
Yeah.
Cheers. Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
we could talk
so
about
do
Cheers
I.
all day.
Where everybody knows your name.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. How you doing, Norm? Poor. Really? Why? What's the matter? No, pour. Like, pour me another beer.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, Ram, well, if folks want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Well, they can look on our website, www.studiomartialartsa.com, or they can call us at 210-482-9833, and our address is at 19141 Stone Oak Parkway, suite number 306.
So Stone Oak and Huebner.
Stone Oak and Huebner. Exactly.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. All right, as we wrap up the show, a quick reminder, check out our latest podcast or catch video version of the show anytime by visiting our website at satalkradio.com. That's going to be it for us. Great job, everybody. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Yes, sir.